May 23rd, 2024. Remember the day, because more than likely it is the day that will change college sports in the way the system works forever. Yesterday was historic. The NCAA in all power conferences agreeing to a settlement in the case in a lawsuit known as House versus NCAA, that in layman's terms will allow schools to directly pay athletes via revenue share for the first time in more than a century of collegiate athletics. More than likely beginning in the fall of 2025 at the power level. That includes the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, the SEC, and the remainder of the Pac-2 at this moment. Power schools will be able to pay their athletes anywhere from an annual basis of around $20 to $22 million, although that figure very much in flux. But a couple of things went to bed yesterday, DRS. The idea and the allure of amateurism in college sports, a facade the NCAA as an organization had been trying to hold on to for many a decade, is now done. In revenue sharing and direct payment from schools and colleges to its athletes can now be legally undertaken, starting more than likely in the timeline of next year.
Like, I didn't read into this too deep here at this point, but this sounds like a monster win for the sports that don't create any revenue, to be honest, because I can't figure out a way where, let's just say Michigan would have $20 million a year and say, all right, $19 million goes to the football team and $1 million goes to all the rest of the athletes. So I'm going to assume the people that, like, let's just say you row crew or you wrestle or I don't know, maybe just, target archery or something that you do for Michigan. I assume you're going to get an equal balance for what the football team does. So shout out the football team once again, as we always think, supporting the entire university athletic budget, which is apparently what they're going to do again. I would like to see the details, but this isn't necessarily a win for the football players, which, yes, they're going to get paid. It's a win for the people that don't even get on TV, probably going to get the same share. A Heisman Trophy winning quarterback going to get the same share as a guy who does archery? Be interesting.
So not necessarily. The university, the athletic department will determine how they want to allocate those funds, and it comes through an NIL type deal. In a way, it is the NCAA trying to take over, and of course then its member institutions trying to take over payments. Pay for play, booster and collective involvement at this moment is what the NCAA is trying to stem because of the chaos we have seen. And don't think the NCAA is finally trying to do the right thing or is trying to finally be the good guy. It is only because they were in line to pay much more than $2.776 billion in damages if they go to court, and where their model has been flame-thrown through time and again. There was really 3 antitrust lawsuits, including mainly here, House versus NCAA, that tried to debunk the false organizational structure that is the NCAA. And there's a couple of ramifications here. It's still ever evolving. What exactly the payments will be, how those will be allocated. In the next year, that will be the final determinations that power conference schools need to make. The lesser conferences, the group of 5 and such, and the FCS level, not necessarily thrilled with this settlement, but led by the powers that be and the huge generating revenue model that is FBS and high major men's and women's basketball. That is what has led to this settlement agreement. And by the way, $2.776 billion will be paid by the NCAA, about 40 from the organization itself, about 60% of that 2.7 bill coming from schools and universities in back pay and damages to athletes who were not entitled to NIL from 2016 to 2020.
Yeah, it's interesting the way it's going to fall out, but obviously when I use the word fallout, we're going to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years. But the people out here are like, oh, no, this is going to change the playing field. Guys have been getting paid for decades and decades and decades from the same exact school. It just wasn't legal before. So the fact that you think Michigan is going to have a much major advantage than Alabama, newsflash here, those bags that have been dropped off before signing day will continue to happen. It's just much more money, and you can do it out in the public now at this point. But it also, the landscape of, don't criticize these young kids. They're just amateur athletes. And now with the advent of legalized gambling, now the equation's going to be, hey, that kid makes $6 million. Yeah, I'm going to get angry at him and yell at, hey, man, complete 3 more passes for my parlay. It's all in bounds now.
Yeah, but it always was in bounds, and the semi-professional model we have lived in for the last 8 to 10 years has not been sustainable. More changes are coming to college sports. But again, what you need to know for a landmark moment in the history of collegiate athletics, a historic day yesterday, based on the settlement agreement, colleges will be able to share revenue directly with players for the first time in more than 100 years.